Lieutenant Nigh.
Hello, Forrest.
You got new legs.
Titanium alloy.
Always want to do this in front of you.
Creating content that enlightens and lifts you up.
Dish, sir, dish.
Me at Splash Mountain, just pepper these in here.
Hello everyone, this is Kermit the Frog reporting live from the final showing of Muppet Vision 3D.
Right? God, I missed our daily dishes.
Yes, indeed.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the dish!
Hey. So, let's dish.
What do you want to dish about?
Anything you guys want. This is your time.
Welcome back, Fun Fam! And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun. This is the dish. Dish live. We'll do it live! Yes, indeed. Hey, guys, stopping in for a few. What's up, Strings and Pucks? Dan's Life at the Kingdom, and everybody's coming in. Good to see everybody here. Good to see everybody here. As a matter of fact, let's just go through and say hi to everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Tom F., our great blue wrench. Is it a blue wrench? Is it a green wrench? It's a blue wrench, I think. He says, hey, all, hit that like on the way in. And yes, we do appreciate it if you hit that like on the way in. DL Fendel is here. He says, music launch. Flying Ron time. That was me. It was funny. I don't think I have the asset to show you, but a while back, I played Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, the Broadway version, off Broadway, of course. And the picture I have of myself as Gaston is kind of pixelated. It's old. It's, from 2005. And I said, AI, can you enhance this and just make the picture better? And it did not come out looking like me. I mean, it did, but it's like it way enhanced the picture. It was just really funny. I wish I could show it to you. What was that? Xander. Hold on a second. Xander? Oh, I was going to say, I'm on my show right now. He's in the next room. He called me. Are you trying to call mommy? Okay. All right. So there should be a mommy one on there somewhere. All right. Love you. Oh, that was funny. Sorry, guys. Interrupted by House. All right, so Linda F is here. And who else? Tom and Consume the Goodness. I love that name. I hope that when you're consuming tonight, this show, you are consuming the goodness. And Go and Shogi is here coming in strong. Hail to Go and Shogi. What did he say? Evening, everybody. Jess Hart's Theme Parks is going to be here. She's with us in the background. Fun fam. Hope y'all are off to an amazing week. By the way, Go and Shogi, share Jess Hart's Theme Parks. Share her channel in the chat so that people can subscribe. Oh, no. That's me again. I hope he figures it out. And then Strings and Pucks is here. Hey guys, stopping in for a few. Good to see you, Strings and Pucks. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dan's Life at the Kingdom. Hello to everybody is coming in here. And let's see, we've got some new ones here. Strings and Pucks, Dan and Go and Shogi, and some back and forth. Still me. Still me. Oh, there's Mommy. I see Mommy too. Okay. At least he got a hold of her. Okay, that's good. There. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so we got Dan and Go and Shogi. So hit the like button, and there we go. Jess Hart's Theme Parks. As a matter of fact, we are going to bring Jess Hart's Theme Parks in. Let's add her to the stage and say hi.
Hey, everybody. Hope everyone's having a really good Monday night.
Yes, indeed. And Jess and I want to thank you for being here. She's kind of helped me co-host. We got others back there tonight. We are just glad you're here. You give us the energy to make it through our Monday night. Sometimes Monday day is hard, but you're the Energon. You guys help us to transform and roll out to be here with you.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy. This stuff's the greatest.
Okay. And some quick housekeeping stuff real quick. I want to let you know that we have some new merchandise in our spread shop at Follow the Bradley's Fun. We've got some new designs. The first one is a design that looks like you've seen it before, but we added something to it. So if you look right here, here's the design. It says Follow the Bradley's Fun, but now it has the YouTube logo at the very, very bottom. You can see it there, and it wasn't there before, and don't know why I didn't think to add that in earlier. You can change in the spread shop, you can change the color of your shirt or your tote or whatever it is that you're deciding to get. We've got hats, we've got cups, we've got everything, and really cool. This design is on a lot of things in the spread shop. And then we also have some of the designs, like, so if it's on something like an adjustable apron, you're only going to see the one design, right? But we also have this design on some shirts where you've got that on the front, and then the back has the back will have the, is it on this one, for example? Yes. So the back of the shirt has a QR code, and if somebody scans that, well, they get to know our channel a little bit better. So
that is super smart. I like that.
Yeah. So we got the QR code on the back and our logo, family logo, on the front. Then we've also got a brand new, completely new design for this show, so that if you want to show off that you are a good fan of the Daily Dish, the Dish, we just shortened the name. Yeah, you can get the Dish shirt right there. So this is what the Dish shirt looks like in black. And again, has the QR code on the back so that if people are wondering what that is, maybe it starts a conversation. And what is the dish? What is Follow the Bradleys Fun? What is it? And then you'd be like, it's a show on YouTube. And you are one of the first to know to watch it. So, and there we go. Going Shogi says, check out all of the Sharp merch. And Disney Secret Kingdom is here too. I see you. Good to see you, Disney Secret Kingdom. We also have, of course, the things that you've seen before. We still have them in the shop. Lots of new products that I put the designs on. But we also have the Make Disney Walt Again hat. And if you don't want to freak people out and wear it in red, you can just wear it in gray. And then nobody will worry that it's that hat says something different than what they thought it said. So some people might mistake that if it's in red, but that's okay. But it is what it is. Make Disney Walt Again. And of course, we've still got the Fedora Fine stuff. This one is the one that I got to change to where it says Follow the Bradleys Fun, Fedora Finds, and has the YouTube logo. But they're all there. And if anybody purchases anything during the course of the show, we will celebrate that, just as we celebrate any and all support from all of you guys. So if you guys support us with a super chat, we have a goal of 5. We have a goal of 5 super chats right now on the show tonight. Whether it's a super chat, super thing, super sticker, whether it's somebody becoming a member of the channel or member milestone chat, or somebody drops memberships, we celebrate all of that. And we ask you to celebrate with us. We love to celebrate. We love to dance. The celebration, I'll show you what it looks like, but we're going to use this as practice. Okay. So when we celebrate in the chat, release your emojis, whether it's a custom emoji because you're a member or a non-custom emoji, doesn't matter. Whether you're a member or not, we want you to celebrate with us, whether fireworks emojis, dance emojis. And we're going to practice right now. So get ready with the emojis, everybody. And we're going to show you what a celebration looks like right now. And we have another guest on the show coming in hot. Our great wrench, Tom F. Give us the pirate, Tom.
Arg.
Arg. There he is. And I don't know how this next one is here. It's a time traveler traveling in from the past, a ghost, if you will. How is it possible? I don't know.
Doc, calm down, okay? Just calm down. It's me. It's Marty.
No, it can't be you. I sent you back to the future.
Hey, Doc, that's right, but I came back again. I came back from the future. Don't you remember last night? You fainted. I brought you home.
This can't be happening. You can't be here. It doesn't make sense for you to be here. I refuse to even believe that you are here.
Oh, but he is here. It's the great LW Ghost. How you doing, LW?
Well, the answer is magic. Magic. Just plain magic.
Yes, all of the magic has left the kingdom and gone into LW Ghost.
Oh, I was always magic.
Yes.
I was magic before magic was cool.
It's...
Wait,
okay.
Magic was never cool at one time?
Well, certain places they burned you at the stake for it, but that was another time altogether.
Well, technically it was hot. Okay, I get you.
Yeah, right. There you go. Smoking.
Yes, indeed. Smoking is great. And you know what is not smoking? Well, that is the box office for the MCU. That's not the MCU box office is not smoking.
There's always been a basic axiom in motion pictures. why pay for crap when you can get it for free in your daily life?
But it is smoking, guys.
Smoking mirrors.
Smoking turds.
Oh,
well,
God.
I don't know about that, but it's a smoldering pile of something. But
a
That's what I
smoldering
meant.
pile. Well, it's just what. Where is this at? Where was I at? I got to look something up here. Come on now. Where's my history? You all put that.
It was in the theme park, man.
No, I know. I was. Hey, baby. My wife just walked in. She's just. It's like
mine too.
Such a loose show that we got here. I'm going to throw the camera on you and watch so everybody can watch you dance.
I'm waiting to see a hand come out of Jess's background and hand her a plate.
We've got the dog.
Hi, Virginia.
Virginia.
Everyone.
Hi.
Hi, ciao.
She just got in. What happened to your live earlier?
I don't know. That didn't work.
That's it.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes, indeed. You won't see that on the WDW Pro Show. I think I'm way too open sometimes. I should go behind need to go behind an avatar. And Disney Secret Kingdom says, "Hi, Virginia. Hello, Virginia." Let's see. Ron's CEO, CFO, and general manager just showed up. Yes, indeed. She is all those things, as well as the love of my life. The love of my life, the apple in my eye, the cream in my coffee. My dearest Jessica, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Oh, I loved Roger Rabbit. So you've got Marvel, which is it's so funny now because they've been trying to like the heads of Marvel and stuff. They were saying, "Oh well, these numbers."
Marvel has heads.
Yeah, apparently. I think that what they've been trying to tell the audience is, "Oh, that's okay. These movies, even though they're costing us $250-300 million to produce, another 150 million to advertise. Yeah, sure, they need to make $900 million at the worldwide box office just to break even, but that's not what we're shooting for. We're shooting for just a good showing for people to like them, so that we can throw them on Disney Plus, or in other words,
I was going to say there's good news and bad news here.
Yeah.
The bad news is it's not earning its keep at the real box office.
Mm-hmm.
The worst good news is it's going to turn people off of being on Disney Plus too, because if this is supposed to be the motivation for joining and paying every month, that ain't happening if they can't get them to come back in the same week it's in the theaters. For those who haven't caught the numbers yet, it fell off 67%. Was it 60-something percent?
67%. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, so it's like
how much.
That tells you that everybody who ever thought they might want to see it has done so already. Thank you very much. Goodbye. So that's not good.
Meanwhile, over at Marvel, they're talking about
lowered expectations.
Oh no.
We're just going to lower.
Looks like the LA River in the background, by the way.
It probably was. That was Mad from Mad TV. So
yeah.
It's crazy. So before we get going on this story, we've got Strings and Bucks coming in with $2. I hope Marvel has heads to go with their giant batunkuses. Can we say the batunkuses? How about that word? Thank you, Strings and Pucks, and we are going to put that in the coffer to celebrate that after this story. So I just wanted to get that up on the screen, but I will bring it back up again. So Marvel's lowered expectations. Here's the numbers right here. You can see it. Fantastic Four, First Steps, minus 67%. And just behind that is The Bad Guys 2 and The Naked Gun. Went to see The Bad Guys 2. I might give a bit of a review of that a little bit later.
Is there anybody else but me when they hear all these sequel movies and it's whatever it is 2, think Toto 2? It's like also, I don't know. Just me, obviously.
Well,
there was
Bad Guys 2 is about.
What's it about?
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, The Bad Guys is a kids property by DreamWorks.
The first one was really cute.
Yeah, it's my son loves it. He's begging me to go take him to the theater to see it again. Like, and since he's 12, he's male, and he's the exact audience demographic that they are shooting for. And a movie like that is produced to do well on streaming, in particular because it's a kids property. And like, if you look at the numbers on Disney Plus, we know Bluey, something that streams for kids, does better than anything else, blows everything else away on Disney Plus. And then you've got, and I'm going to be doing a story on this in that Park Place about The Descendants. And The Descendants, again, another property for teens. They're doing well with the audiences, for streaming, that, whether it's the after school crowd or whatever, they're doing well for the most part, hitting that demographic. The problem with that demographic is they're not the ones with money. They're the ones that have to beg their parents to buy them stuff. And, when it's a Bluey doll or I don't know what teens buy for the Descendants, or their toys or their action figures. I have no idea. There are Descendants action figures.
Clothing and stuff too, yeah.
Yeah, so those types of things, they make follow-up money, and the better part of it is they're cheap to produce. I mean, I can't even imagine how little it costs to produce High School Musical compared to Avengers Endgame. So
the one thing that these newer properties have going for them is the stars aren't stars yet, so they don't get paid a lot of money comparatively.
That's true. And if you look at some of the Disney stars from years past, some who have gone on to great fame, obviously Britney Spears and
RDJ, but all I'm saying is he's not in the Descendants. This is all
no, but I'm like, the younger stars are probably too busy with each other. Is the point that I was going to make from when they were on the Mickey Mouse Club. They were busy. I was back in the 1990s version of the Mickey Mouse Club, and I can't even think of all the names. I was looking at the other day, all the names that were on there. That produced a lot of today's stars. Ryan Gosling.
Well, just like the original Mickey Mouse Club gave us Annette and Cubby and all those people. So
Bobby, my next door neighbor, Bobby
Driscoll, yeah,
he was my neighbor for a little while, but Bobby Burgess was my neighbor.
Oh, Bobby Burgess, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was on Lawrence Welk for a long time too.
Well, that's why he was my neighbor, because in Branson, Missouri, I actually lived almost right across the street from the Lawrence Welk Theater. So when he would come into town and do the stints there.
So when people ask for your directions to your house, did you say a 1 and a 2 and
I said
turn left at the bubble machine?
Yeah, exactly. When you come to the bubbles, you'll know. I had a lot of fun at the Lawrence Welk Theater in Branson. I never worked there. I worked at the Osmond Theater and several other theaters, but I had a lot of fun going to shows over there. And Bobby Burgess, it's funny. He was the nicest guy. We had lots of talks. Our doors, because we were in a condominium, our doors were like this. So I would walk out my door, he would walk out his door. We'd literally walk into each other we were at the same time. And we had we just had lots of casual conversations. We were next door neighbors. And I knew he worked at the Lawrence Welk Theater, but other than that, that period of time in my life, I didn't watch Lawrence Welk when I was a kid, so it meant nothing to me. So he's just a good neighbor, a really good guy. That whole time, I had no idea that he was the Bobby from the Mickey Mouse Club in the 1950s. Otherwise, I would have been so you keep in touch with Annette Funicello. Would have had a whole different conversations with him. So it's probably better that I didn't know, honestly.
Beach blanket bingo, I tell you.
Oh yeah. Oh, the stars of the past, they seem to have, at least they handled themselves for the most part in the past with a lot more, they had a lot more reverence and respect for the audience. They handled themselves for the most part, much better in public than today's stars do. And of course, today's stars are all over social media. So I don't think that helps at all with the box office. I mean, I don't think that Pedro Pascal licking a, rainbow colored.
Oh, don't remind us. Go.
Yeah, why do you have that in that beginning? Why did you put that in that beginning?
Because it's
relive it every
hilarious.
episode.
It's hilarious. Yeah, that's because it's a stop. Don't do that. Oh no. Anyway, so we got the Fantastic Four. The numbers are out. The numbers are not good. It's at 367 million in the worldwide box office after 2 weekends, which sounds not bad. Now, if it were to continue doing such, it might be decent. But here's the problem with the numbers. If you look at the chart down here, in that gray area on the chart, if it was heading towards the top of that and it looked like the trajectory was up, that would be a good thing. But the trajectory on this one is down, and it's falling, mid weekend. A 67% drop from not the best start ever. I think right now they're predicting somewhere around $500 million end, which would be fine if this thing only cost, $50 million to make and $50 million to market. But I believe that the reported budget on this is $225 million, and the marketing was probably another $1 million. So just in order to break even at the box office, you're looking probably close to at least 600 to 700 million.
And then the question becomes, if it's falling this precipitously, every week you keep it in the theaters adds to that ad pub budget.
Right.
Because you got to keep the ads running. You got to keep the machine going. And the diminishing returns become astounding.
So,
the advertisers, places you're putting their ads and trailers and what have you, are not charging less as it goes on. They're charging the same. So that's a fixed cost.
And there's a couple related stories out of that Park Place. Not just one, but actually 2 stories that I want to get to. Just because they're both interesting and they both merit some discussion. So here's the weekend box office report, August 1st through 3rd, 2025. Fantastic Four First Steps. It retains the top spot despite a sharp decline as the new releases do inject fresh energy. This is by our good friend Marvin Montanaro. And you got the domestic box office for the weekend, August 1st through 3rd, totaled approximately 118.5 million, marking a 27% decline from the same frame last year, but still showing resilience amid a summer season that's now crossed the $3 billion mark. Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe entry, The Fantastic Four First Steps, held on to the number 1 position in the second weekend, though it experienced a steeper than expected drop. So at first they were reporting 66% drop with 40 million, but it actually came in closer to 38 million at a 67% drop. So even though it's the number 1 position the second weekend, experienced steeper than expected drop. Meanwhile, newcomers like Universal's animated sequel, The Bad Guys 2, which I saw and loved, Paramount's comedy reboot, The Naked Gun, and Neon's horror film Together provided a boost, highlighting a diverse slate that appealed to families, comedy fans, and genre enthusiasts.
By the way, I just looked it up. The production budget on Naked Gun was 42 million, and it's already made 28.3.
Yeah.
So
there's your difference.
That's within shooting distance, And it's got a big star, and it's got a pre-warmed audience from all the classic ones.
Well, yeah, and you think about that. That means at $100 million, if it hits 100 million worldwide, which it may or may not do, but at that point, even at the box office, it would be profitable. But more important than the box office is the fact that movie is the kind of movie that's set for streaming.
And it doesn't require a massive screen theater with higher prices, which is what gooses the take on Fantastic Four. Because it's not that kind of movie, it might be enjoyable that way, but it's by no means, I got to see it in IMAX,
No,
it may not even be out there in IMAX anywhere. I don't know.
it's the kind of movie that people will go see midweek for some laughs as a pick me up. You know, oh my, I had a crappy day at work. You know what? I'm just going to go by the theater and plop down $8 and see Naked Gun, because that kind of a movie will play for $8 at your smaller theaters, or even $5 on a Tuesday.
Well,
or
the
whatever.
other thing is, it is a multi-generational audience in the sense that the people who love the originals want to go see what they've done with the new one, and they can take their kids who never saw the originals, who then, if they like the subject and like the style, and I hear it's nowhere near as good as the old ones, but still, they can then go back and stream or rent or buy the old movies and the TV series.
Exactly.
So it pays it backwards as well as forward, is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, I was just looking at something in the chat that was funny. Yes, exactly. So you go back, and I think that the other thing it does is help awaken the genre again. It's unapologetic as far as the comedy genre.
Yeah,
the jokes are they're not necessarily woke. They kind of they really do fall back to that old Naked Gun, you know, hilarity, that spoof comedy stuff. And they're not all great jokes. Some people hate that kind of humor. Like I understand the airplane movies. I find the airplane movies
Same people.
absolutely hilarious. But there's
Striker.
people that striker.
Well, you know, we might add that this one has one big handicap compared to the old ones.
Yes,
it's got to make it without OJ. But
I'll do it to you.
Well, OJ Simpson is in this for 1 second of footage where they, go to his picture and show his supposed son in the movie. And he's like, "Nah, I'm not going to say anything about him." They play it for a joke, but they honestly should have given that guy more screen time. I think they
Well, see, but if I haven't seen it again, but doing it for a one-line joke quickie is you've got to address it. So let's do it.
That's
do it for an extended period of time might be considered by some people to be in bad taste. So I don't know.
I'm serious, but don't call me Shirley.
Call me Shirley.
Right.
Shirley, you can't be serious. Well, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Sure. Oh, those were great lines. So let's see what the top 10. Let's see. This weekend's performance comes. I'm just trying to look at these. This weekend's performance comes as summer box office aims to potentially reach $4 billion, buoyed by strong holdovers from July blockbusters like Superman and Jurassic World Rebirth. Year-to-date revenues are up 9.5% compared to 2024, but lag, and this is important, lag 23% behind pre-lockdown 2019 levels. That's 6 years ago, guys. It's the box office has still not completely recovered from 6 years ago. But the worst part about that is inflation.
I'm so tired of COVID being an excuse anymore. It's ancient history. It really is.
Well, it is, but all I'm saying is I think we know that it changed people's habits, viewing habits.
Sure.
You put people at home and people realized, hey, I can go to BJ's or Costco and I can get an 85-inch TV for $700 now or whatever. Plop that in my living room and get my surround sound bar and never have
Not
to
to mention bargain popcorn and drinks and everything that you spend.
But I had that before COVID, guys.
Well, some people did, but a lot of
people
didn't.
Look, this is no different than the trend in work at home and therefore commercial real estate and all of the industries like sandwich shops and dry cleaners that used to feed off those commuters going down. It was all happening, but the pandemic accelerated the process of transitioning into it. That's all. It was all going to happen in 10 years. It happened in 2.
Right.
So, maybe that's a good thing. Bite the bullet and get it over with. I'm not the people that were sick and died, of course, but I'm just saying this was a trend society was making. And wouldn't want to have, there's going to be a lot of empty office buildings in major cities all over.
Yeah, there already are. So here we're looking at the top 10. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will say this. I think that I think Fantastic Four: First Steps. I believe the box office may have suffered greatly. This is my personal opinion, but I think it may have suffered greatly from being the very last weekend in July after Jurassic Park and after Superman, where people had spent their money in July, and maybe they're like, "Yeah, I've seen it.
Well,
I've seen a superhero movie. I've
that's
seen
true,
it."
and not only just spent it, but they're competing with the expenses of back to school clothes and supplies and what have you.
Sure are. Oh God, I do hate that back to school commercials all start, and like they all start in July, and they usually start like the first or second week of July, and it's like your kid's been off school for 3 or 4 weeks, and all of a sudden the back to school stuff starts, and
well, has school started in most places now? I don't know.
School starts
Because
back up usually like the 10th of August now.
Because it always feels to me, being in the East now, that it's early. Because when I was a kid, I remember about the first week of school and the World Series in September were about the same in LA.
Yeah.
So, it's shifted for me.
It has. It shifted a lot.
Yeah, we didn't used to start until like the Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, generally growing up in Pennsylvania. But our kids are going back.
Some of that had to do
August
with,
now.
hey, we need the kids to help out with the harvest or with the farm or with the whatever they were doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah.
I thought they just didn't want to turn the AC on at the schools.
Oh, there might be that.
Before we hit the next part of the story, again, I wanted to celebrate this because we didn't get to celebrate it before, but Streams and Pucks gave $2. I hope Marvel has heads. I wish Ike Perlmutter would come back because Ike Perlmutter was the head and Kevin Feige is the giant. No, I'm just kidding.
But, that's what people say about, what's his name, who tried to do it. These guys are, they're enjoying their grandkids and having a good time. They don't need the tourists of all this, which is for aggravation.
If I could have gone out the way Bob Chapek would have gone out with, pay you, $40 million and please leave, I feel like, okay,
no,
I don't want for half that much.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do it for half. $20 million and I'll leave.
I only need 2 boats, not 4 or whatever it is. And you don't even have to build me a shower,
Let's give this let's give this a celebration.
Is it too much? Too much. It's pathetic.
Oh, this is just the best of my scene. And
that just makes me tired to watch because, God, I can't do that. And I'm sort of happy.
Lou, do you want to really do a Pee-wee dance?
That's what I'm trying to say. In no way.
You might be able to still do what he did in local Florida theaters.
Oh,
hey, but you wanted to keep this PG, Ron.
I didn't say what it was. I was just watching movies, guys. He was just watching movies.
Well, they didn't have popcorn buckets of giant size then, so he had to have something else to do with his hands. Right?
Exactly. Let me get this on the screen. This is the other part of the story after out of that Park Place.
Oh, the influencers.
Influencers in full meltdown.
Those of you in my generation will remember a phrase from the Vietnam era about what if they gave a war and nobody came? Well, what if they had influencers and they had no influence?
Wouldn't that be something?
The Fantastic Four has plummeted, and the influences, apparently, some of them are not so happy. So
it's the audience's fault. Always.
Always. Marvel's The Fantastic Four: First Steps has experienced one of the steepest second weekend drops in recent MCU history, leaving many to wonder if this will ultimately end up the latest Marvel flop. After a solid opening weekend haul of $117.6 million domestically, the film cratered by 66. No, let's go with the real numbers because they wrote this before the final numbers came in. 67% drop the sophomore frame. Earning there was a reported 40 million. Now we know it was actually 38 million over the August 1st and 3rd weekend. This brings its domestic total to around 198.5 $2.4 million, with global earnings stretching at approximately to $370 million after 2 weeks. She is so statuesque.
You know what? In that photo, she looks like a chrome goth.
She looks like something that belongs as a hood ornament on a car.
She looks like she should have a sandwich.
That's
She
right.
should eat a little bit.
The chrome goth. It's like,
who's the chrome god?
No, it's a new thing. She thinks she's goth, but she's chrome. So
cubic zirconium instead of diamonds, right?
Yeah, basically.
Well, when it comes to thinking that you're God, if you're a woman, I think that she at least pulls it off a little bit better than Cynthia Erivo, but that's a whole other story.
Oh, that's spooky.
Pretty sure we'll be covering that on the Pro Show. It was funny, and I kept comparing on X and a little sidebarring here, but that Cynthia Erivo stuff, she looked literally exactly like Nosferatu climbing up the stairs. In
yes, the hands in particular. You're right.
I mean, yeah, it looked. Well, the hands in particular, but a lot of her face. That's what's so
skeletal.
Scary. Yeah.
I think if you want to, I understand everybody in showbiz wants to be thin and rich, but I think as a basic rule, your body weight should be bigger than the weight of your piercings.
Yeah.
She might be walking that fine line.
Wow, big and rich. Didn't she get the memo?
Oh.
I don't know. All right, so he writes, while the movie has held on to the #1 spot at the box office, the sharp decline, far steeper than comparable superhero films like Superman, which dropped a modest 53% second weekend, has ignited a firestorm of reactions from influencers and online commentators. Many are melting down in real time on X, blaming everything from audience stupidity to superhero fatigue, while others defend the film amid cries of impending doom for the MCU, and that's true no matter that's true no matter how you look at it.
Little Dr. Doom pun
exactly.
There, huh?
Little Dr. Doom.
See.
The drop is particularly brutal when viewed in context. Early estimates pegged this film Thursday previews at $24.4 million, edging out Superman's $22.5 million, suggesting strong initial buzz for the star-studded reboot. But yet the film faced heavy front-loading with a 42% dip from Friday to Saturday in its opening weekend, higher than recent MCU entries like Thor, Love and Thunder, which also sucked really bad, or Deadpool and Wolverine, which is only 36%. Overseas, the picture is mixed, solid in Europe and Latin America, disastrous in Asia, making the worst MCU performance in China and Korea. Analysts point to a production budget likely in the $200 to $250 million range, although exact figures remain undisclosed, plus another $100 million plus from marketing, meaning the film needs probably $600 to $750 million worldwide just to break even. So the fall has influenced the spectrum losing their cool, turning X into a battlefield of despair, denial, and finger pointing as influencers battle over whether Fantastic Four is headed. Here's a roundup of some of the heated meltdowns.
This one. Oh God, just read this stupid person.
This is where the fun begins. John, is it Rocha or Roca? Do you know, Lou?
I don't know.
Roca? He's certainly a ruckus. Audience intelligence. Film critic and podcaster John Rocha.
The intelligent,
yeah. Doesn't hold back lambasting moviegoers for preferring what he called phenomenally stupid films like Jurassic World Rebirth, which has grossed $731 million worldwide over what he perceives to be quality superhero fare. And he says, yes, we will discuss. Some people won't want to hear this, but it might be time to stop putting all the blame on studios or creatives for underperforming movies. It might be time to start looking at the intelligence level of moviegoers.
Right.
What IQ level do you need to go see the Fantastic Four?
Not much.
A low one.
And the other question is, if what he said were true, shouldn't they make a movie to match the audience? Not to make them feel bad because they're too stupid to understand it.
At least they didn't make an act like
the typical elitist nonsense here.
Yep.
Oh God.
Truth is that the intelligent people are smart enough to use their money elsewhere. That's all there is to it.
Doesn't this sound suspiciously like the old? Well, the reason why every place that ever tried communism has starved is because they didn't do it right.
Oh yeah. Communism and socialism have never been done right. Or people will say, "Oh no, it's being done right in Denmark." But if you look at Denmark, that's not actually socialism.
Well, anyway,
it's a different. And I always say, there's a difference between full socialism and social programs, and you have to look at how those things are taxed and what they do for society. And this.
Well,
and that and the
there's a difference between stupid people and dumb people. I have yet to figure that out.
By the way, Mr. Roca, if you're wondering who the dumb person is in the room, you might want to look in the mirror.
There you go.
If everyone's an idiot, you might be the idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I will say this about the bad guys. There's something funny that happens in it. Spoiler alert, guys. The criminals are trying to steal all the gold in the world. I won't say how they do it, but if you pulled off stealing all of the gold in the world, it would lose its value completely because now it's no longer in the system of barter and trade. so it really doesn't.
Well, that was the real plot of the movie Goldfinger. Was not that they were going to steal it, that they were going to irradiate it and therefore make that whole big chunk of the world's gold supply useless for a half-life of 99 years. And therefore everything else they had was worth more. So
Russia would still use it, Lou. They wouldn't care.
Well, yeah, I was watching an interview, very interesting interview today. The guy who runs the museum at what used to be Bletchley Park, the code-breaking place in England where Alan Turing and all those guys broke the Enigma machine. And he was talking about Turing. And apparently Turing sold a bunch of stuff and amassed a pretty good chunk of silver and went out into these woods and buried it just in case the Nazis took over, England. And he wrote himself a coded message to tell them where to find it. And somehow he forgot the code.
Oh, no.
Oh,
it's still out there somewhere.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So it just goes to show you, even smart people making the best plans can screw up.
Greatest plans of mice and men oft go astray. If a phenomenally stupid movie like Jurassic World Rebirth can crush films like Superman and Fantastic Four at the box office, which, by the way, I have to say, the elements of Superman and Fantastic Four have equally stupid elements in them. So, it's all popcorn and spectacle. Then something might be wrong with all of us and not the studios and the creatives. See, you can't look at it that way. It's so ridiculous. His thread sparked over 3,500 likes, hundreds of replies, with many accusing him of elitism, which makes sense. And then you have some backlash here. The audience is never wrong, from Iron Will Forget Forever or whatever. The audience is never wrong. The story producers are always to blame if the project fails. If you're blaming the audience, then you've lost the thread. And then John says, no block of people, no matter how massive, is never wrong. That's idiotic to say. Audiences in numerous arenas have been wrong in a myriad of ways for centuries of our Earth's existence. The judgment of human beings from something small, like movies, to something big. It's kind of weird because usually people like him are the same people that talk about how important democracy is. And true democracy, pure democracy, is nothing but a popularity contest. So either way, he's wrong.
Well, there's I'm going to paraphrase because I forget exactly the words, but Damon Runyon said something to the effect that the game is not always to the strong nor the race to the fleet, but that's the way to bet. So this idea, who gives how much a movie makes? Well, because it's a business, schmuck.
Right.
Because it's actually something that has to pay off. Who cares? It's the people who lose the money. And
if you truly make good movies, and if you make good stories, and if you make what people want, they're gonna go. They're gonna see it. They're gonna put their money out there.
And it's not like it's a secret formula. It's people have been making good movies. One of the precepts of my show with Lauren and Hangry, the genre guys, is it hasn't been that long since there were good movies. We show some classics, but we also show things that are 10 years old, 12 years old. It's something made a sea change that threw everything into the crapperoo. So we
I
can
see
switch
that
it back.
comment from 40's Mandalorian, and 100%. They stopped making movies for the fans and started making it for the critics. And I
Yeah.
see a lot of that even from corporations. They've started looking more towards the stockholders.
But
and
I will
less
also
towards-
point out it's easier to make movies for the critics when you've bought them,
Sure.
which
Yep.
is what all these influencers are, so-called influencers.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the people who, I saw Tiana and it was working and it was perfect and I would have watched it a million times. Yeah, but people aren't, you know?
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not even about that. The fact with Tiana, they
I'm talking about the
replaced.
park, not the movie, but
No, I know. But
the
with
attraction,
Tiana's
yeah.
Bayou Adventure, they replaced something that was beloved with something
It
else.
weren't broke. Don't fix it. Exactly.
Right. It might become beloved, but it's the same ride. It was even the new test track upgrade. While it's not a bad upgrade. It literally is a little bit of an upgrade. The queue is boring as heck, and the attraction is roughly about the same. It's
Gosh,
still pretty
that
much
original queue was amazing.
the original queue is fantastic, but they've taken all of the elements of it being the test track away, which is so weird. I guess on the ride,
I'm partial to the original, which is World of Motion, you know, because
there you go.
Hey, Gary Owens, for God's sake.
They put some more homages to World of Motion in there, but it's still not the same. And it's my point is they're spending money in places like that, and yet Tomorrowland Speedway remains in operation, and it smells bad. The gases, I get that it's a classic attraction, and I have no problem with that part of it. But it's a lot of space, and I think they could really plus up Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is, out of all of the lands, it's the one in Magic Kingdom that needs the most love and just isn't getting it at all.
That's why they're going to touch it.
And it's been completely redone. What, twice, 3 times? I think the one in Disneyland has, because Tomorrow caught up with them. That was something they forgot.
But they don't.
The thing about doing lands about the past and fantasy is that they don't age. You know,
right? Well, and that's why I think it's so weird that they have chosen to redo Frontierland. Whole other discussion, but sorry about that.
Yeah,
so wait, I still. I do not know what just happened.
I got a WD-40 this chair, but
that's. Something is going on in my
I
background.
thought that was your casket opening out, Blue.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay.
You're trying to sneak out again?
Tales from the Crypt, right here. Let's see.
So, all right, we've got my popular Scoop account, My Time to Shine, posted twice in quick succession, amplifying the panic. So she says, this is worse than I thought. This could be another flop for Marvel. And then post, but seriously, how do you explain this? Like, what happened? So here's what's weird to me. How would these people not have seen this coming? We all saw this coming. You have Captain America, Brave New World, flop. You have Thunderbolts, even a halfway decent movie, but still a flop. And
I believe the studio knows way in advance that it's going to be a flop. And the example I gave was when the new Indy movie came out, they hadn't done any meet and greets in the park at the Indy Stunt Show or anything like that. They had no entertainment to sell it with because they said the movie's a flop. Why make it worse by reminding people it exists? And that's a decision that has to get made months before it gets out there in the theaters. So,
and then this one is by Yellow Flash, which was, I love this. Marvel is doomed. Fantastic Four officially bombs, making it the third MCU flop of 2025. That's okay. I wanna push back a little bit. It's not the third MCU flop of the year. It is the third MCU movie box office flop of the year, because everything else that the MCU has also tried to do this year has also flopped, and that includes Ironheart, not so great there, and
the
also
Power of Manny, Mo, and Jack,
even
and,
Daredevil,
Agatha,
and I like
Daredevil. Yeah.
In other words, the MCU.
Did that even release?
Which one?
Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil's
the new series. Yeah, it's terrible. I was worried from the first trailer. I said, wait a minute here.
But if you like
I remember it.
spectacle, Kingpin does pop a guy's head open with his hand. So there's that.
Oh yeah, now I remember it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a good.
there's
He's got
lots
a
of-
I thought
good
that was just
dry
a bad
cleaner.
dream.
Though, see.
Yeah, it's neurotic. Gary, do you know how to pronounce Gary's last name, Lou?
No, I don't.
Gary B.
Well, I think it's Buchler.
That's a Buchler. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
AKA Nerdrotic, prominent YouTuber known for his Friday Night Tight streams. Took a snarky swipe while quoting box office analyst exhibitor Relations Co. Fantastic Four is the best Disney Marvel flop of the year. He's quoting exhibitor relations company. Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps took a massive misstep on its second box office adventure, falling 66%, 40 million. It's actually 67%. We know that now. Still, it's already surpassed the domestic run of Thunderbolts, 190 million, as just a day away from Captain America. So, trying to spin that to the positive. I get it, but it was funny when Gary goes, Fantastic Four, the best of the Disney Marvel flops this year. and where this lands is that it is, no matter how you look at this, is probably going to end up in flop territory. Flop simply meaning that it doesn't make a profit at the box office. I don't even know that Superman will profit at the box office. It's getting closer, but it bothers me with the Superman movie, how they keep comparing it to Man of Steel, because Man of Steel was 2013, I believe, which is 12 years ago. So even if it makes it to $670 million, it didn't make it to $670 million. Man of Steel at $670 million in 2013 would be about $928 million today. So if it doesn't make it to $928 million, it didn't surpass Man of Steel.
No.
Plus, ticket prices were cheaper.
Exactly.
But there weren't as many big screen bump up price theaters. So, there's
which means
you
that
can
there were
parse these
more
numbers-
butts and seats.
Well, but you can parse these things 6 ways from Sunday. The bottom line is, anybody who says, well, why are they even bothering? Why should we care if it makes money? Well, you want more movies, or you want them to close it up and open up a parking lot? It's just that simple. Nobody. I keep saying this since I started doing these shows over a year ago now. My God, how time flies when you're having fun. Nobody sets out to make a bad movie. That doesn't mean they can't. It doesn't mean they know what a good or bad movie is, as by our standards compared to their own. But nobody's trying to flop. Nobody's trying to fail. And the fact that people don't have everybody bitches, oh, the studio made me do this. Well, if they made you stop reshooting after 4 or 5 times, that would probably be a good thing, not just for the budget, but for the movie. I always tell the story. When I was at film school a million years ago, there was a guy who was re-editing his 20-minute student film for the next 2 years. Did it make it better? Maybe. I never saw the final. But the question becomes, when do you say, okay, that one's dead, time to let's try something new and learn from our mistakes? But that presumes you have the perceptive ability to see what the mistake was. And as long as you're saying, well, it's the audience's fault, or it's too hot in summer to go to a theme park, or any of these other excuses, you're not getting down to the brass tacks of what happened.
No, because basically it's supply and demand. Okay. The audience supplies the demand, and the studios may provide the supply, but the audience demand will be there if the studios are producing something that is worth being in demand, but they're not doing it,
But it gets worse than that, Ron, and here's why. You talk about how much they spend on advertising and publicity. If the demand is there in advance of the opening, because they've been sold on the fact that this might be the one, this might be really great, and then you go and you find out, no, it's just as crummy as the last one. At that point, not only are you angry because you feel like you've been conned, at that point, you stop believing the highly expensive advertising and pub on the next one and the next one, because you think, yeah, well, that's what I thought about movie X because they made it look so good and it wasn't. The credibility factor goes away.
Yeah.
And you can't buy that back. You can't buy back your reputation for honesty, you know? And I'm not saying that every movie out there that's mediocre should have an ad campaign that says, yeah, you may not want to see this one because it's so-so. I'm just saying, which would be refreshing, but I'm just saying the credibility factor, it's the same thing I said when we were going through that whole proxy deal. I said, at what point do these major investment houses have to look at their own credibility with their investors and say, we can't keep backing this outfit because it's going to keep losing money and we're going to look bad for having referred people to it.
True enough. I don't know how to put this name. Cantor. Can he try Dr. 73?
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's my friend Tony.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, hello, Tony. Maybe if they try to make a bad movie, it will turn out good.
But again, this all presumes that the people involved know what's good and what's bad. They're paid to do that, but that doesn't mean they really have that ability. So,
well, speaking of what is good and what is bad, we have to go to, and I know I've covered this a little bit before, but I'll be covering it from a very different angle this time. This is one of those stories that I wish was good. We all wanted it to we all wanted it to turn out good, and unfortunately, it's not.
I have news.
What type of news is it?
Well, to be perfectly frank, it's bad.
Maybe if you tell me the bad news in a good way, it won't sound so bad.
The bad news in a good way. Yes, I can do that. Well, here goes. Wait till you hear this.
Well, this is out of thatparkplace.com by somebody that I know personally, me. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird to see my own story up there. I never really considered myself a writer, so but here it is, from hype to heartbreak: the fall of American Heartland Theme Park. And I know that a lot of people in the theme park space were very excited about this announcement a couple years ago. Covered this a little bit. And then here's my take in writing from thatparkplace.com by me. And this one went out on the 3rd of August, 2025. There's a concept art picture of what the entrance was supposed to look like, and it's kind of cool. You see the American Heartland, you see the
Does that remind anybody of the entrance to DCA with the Pan Pacific facade with the monorail going by?
Yeah, like the older one. Yeah, it's I liked that. I actually liked it.
Yeah, I did too. But
well, in recent years, the theme park industry has been on a roller coaster ride of its own, from Disney's controversial changes and closures to the long-awaited debut of Epic Universe at Universal Orlando. Fans have experienced a whirlwind of emotions, but amid corporate shifts and rising guest frustration, one announcement in 2023 promised a new kind of magic: a $2 billion Disneyland-like theme park in the heart of America, Veneta, Oklahoma, right smack in the middle of the United States. There's some concept art for the American Heartland theme park, and they get the credit for that. It was dubbed American Heartland. It offered a patriotic vision of family fun designed by former Disney Imagineers, or so we were told. It was a bright spot of hope amidst a dark time. The period between 2022 and 2023 was a busy time for parks, as pent-up demand had built up during an era of lockdown-related closures. It was also a time of growing frustration among theme park goers, with massively rising prices, added charges for services that were once included, Fast Pass and Magical Express, I'm looking at you, and an overall lowered guest experience, with parks being far less clean and properly maintained as in the past. This was coupled with Disney diving into a very divisive political fight with the state of Florida and average families reacting to that, along with other poor decisions on Disney's part. This led to a diminished opinion of the House of Mouse, but on July 19th, 2023, theme park fans across the nation got a breath of fresh and exciting news. A Disneyland-like theme park would be built smack in the center of the United States in Medina, Oklahoma. The park was named American Heartland. It was confirmed to have a patriotic theme. Not only would this park promote traditional family values and fun, but it was also to be built by, they said, many former Disney Imagineers. Excitement for this project was felt immediately and rippled quickly through the theme park enthusiast community. The Mansion Entertainment Group, who are they? Now, this is where I come in because, full disclosure, I worked for them at one point in time, 2003 and 2004. The initial announcement came from Larry Wilhite of the Mansion Entertainment Group. This entity currently owns and runs the Mansion Theater in Branson, Missouri. A good deal of the funding was to come from wealthy benefactor, 92-year-old, he's currently 92-year-old Gene Bicknell, who once was the largest Pizza Hut franchise owner in the world with over 700 locations under his belt in the early 2000s. This was to be a $2 billion development project that would not only include the theme park, but a full-scale resort, hotel, and campground. At the time of the initial announcement, there was a great deal of excitement. Now, personally, I was skeptical, and for good reason. Poor planning prevents proper performance. Full disclosure, here it is. I once worked for the Mansion Group. Back in 2003, 2004, I was contracted as a musical theater performer at Mansion American Theater. I played the role of Reuben in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and several roles in a musical called Celebrate America, where I even held the role as, this is where it gets really weird, guys. I played the son, played the role of a son to a character portrayed the none other than Gene Bicknell himself. So I played the son of the guy that was going to finance this park, and he put a lot of money into it up front. At the time, he had lost a lot of his fortune already through different things, and so he kind of hemorrhaged himself, and he is not in a good position today. I was also associated to a much lesser degree with Larry Wilhite. Due to what I had learned from that experience, I had little faith. This is me personally. I had little faith in the American Heartland project when it was announced. Without going into great deal of detail, let me just say, I saw a lack of organization while working with the Mansion Entertainment Group. The location also seemed unfeasible for a resort and theme park, as that plot of land in Bonita, Oklahoma, smack in the center of Tornado Alley, a geographical path across the United States that sees the highest volume of destructive thunderstorms and tornadoes annually. That alone seemed to be an insurance nightmare. And from what I had seen 21 years ago at the mansion, I didn't think this group was up to the task. I reached out to them several times over the past few years, but got no comment as to the progress of the project. And here is where we are today, the end of a dream. 2024 reports started to come out of in the work of the project halting, unpaid bills beginning to pile up. One outlet, Construction Dive, reported in November 2024 that the quote-unquote two firms have filed liens against the developers, and little has happened on the site. This spelled the beginning of the end of the stream project. The latest news came this week with KJRH2 News Oklahoma reporting with the headline, "Financial backer for proposed Bonita theme park files lawsuit in federal court." Gene Bicknell filed a suit against Larry Wilhite and Stephen Hedrick, and there's a third person, claiming $60 million in damages for being defrauded. Bicknell states in the suit they executed a predatory conspiracy of psychological manipulation, convincing Gene through fraud and impersonation that God himself was commanding him to both finance the park's construction and to grant Solanskis and Wilhite 2/3 ownership of the completed venture, which was to be worth $2 billion. With that, it appears the American Heartland has come to an end before it had even had a chance to begin. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, how the heck did this guy become convinced that he was being manipulated by God? You have to go in and read the 68-page filed lawsuit, the report. There were emails, there were text messages. They the Mansion Group under Wilhite and Solanskis and the other guy, the third guy, they actually created some sort of an entity, a false entity, where Gene believed he was literally getting text messages from God, and he's going to, and or kind of taking advantage of where his mindset was. Now, like I said, I knew him, and he's always been a very kind of ultra religious guy. So he's always had this mindset that he wanted to be connected to God, and at the same time, you think of his age, he wanted to go out of this world in his own
They
head.
exploited the hell out of him.
Next, he would be the next Walt Disney, right? He's going to create this theme park.
And when all this came out, my first reaction was to think of Bill Shatner as Captain Kirk and have him say, wait a minute, I have a question. What does God need with a theme park? The Lord is my TikTok I shall not want. I don't know. It just
I can say
elder abuse.
There's okay. So here's the thing. He, like his kids and grandkids, he gave their inheritance to this project, to fund this project. His kids were screaming at him to not do this. And I believe that he actually lives here in Florida somewhere. I have thought about reaching out to him. I'm not sure that it's the right thing for me to do, but the whole story ends up being sad because not only was Gene played, but the city of Veneta was played, and the general public was played, because it does look like there were some true intentions to go through with this, but we're not sure how much was.
Yeah, by nefarious means, it seems.
Yeah, I don't know what was going to happen. Like if it actually did happen, I don't know. Gene is just. I'm surprised he's lived at the age he's lived. He's he was 70 years old when we were working together. He was an interesting guy. He was the mayor of Pittsburgh, Kansas for a while. He was the largest Pizza Hut franchise owner. But when I was working with him, he bought the Mansion Theater. It was called, at the time, he called it the Mansion America Theater. It's now just called the Mansion Theater in Branson, Missouri. He bought it from whatever enterprises owned it for Wayne Newton. It was first built specifically to be the Wayne Newton Theater in Branson. That is where, when Wayne Newton moved to Branson for like 2 years out of Las Vegas to do his show there, and just to see. There was a period of time in the 90s and in the early 2000s when Branson was just booming. Mel Tillis said, telling everybody to get there. So the Osmonds have a theater, and Tillis has a theater, and Conway Twitty, and just tons of older acts. I will tell you, in the early 2000s, I was thinking about the time period that we're in right now, and I was thinking, 2025, the NSYNC Theater opens up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it's like as groups,
the Backstreet Boys retirement home.
Exactly. Well, Yakov Smirnoff is still there. He has a theater there, and even though he still tours, and of course now Yakov is of course going to be a new dad at his age, which is another wild story.
Well, this thing, look. There were many things about it that did make sense. Mm-hmm. As far as the location and tornadoes, I don't know. But as far as the fact that they said they were going to build a fantastic trailer park first, mm-hmm. and then add the theme park, that's right in the heart of everybody going cross country in their RV. And they would have been the next stop after Branson and Springfield and all of that. So going west. So,
it's right off of 44, which is the old Route 66. Like 66 still exists, but it's a side of 44, which is the big big freeway. It's exactly when you plan to motor west from Chicago to LA, you would hit Veneta, Oklahoma, right in smack in the middle of that journey, and it would attract a ton of road trip traffic. The one thing that is there right now is a big stop off the highway, it's not a Buc-ee's, but it's like a big giant McDonald's that goes over the highway. It's still there. It's an interesting town. It's far enough away from Branson that I guess it could have been feasible. I know they initially wanted to build something in Branson, and then that was not going to be big enough for what they wanted to do. And then
because the real estate's too expensive there now.
Yeah.
It's why Disney hid their identity when they bought the property in Florida, because they didn't want to have it suddenly go crazy.
Oh yeah, and the rumor in Branson, all the time that I ever lived there, and probably still exists today, is that Disney owns some land in Branson and still plans on building a theme park there. That I know, Tom. But all the years that I lived there, that was always a rumor in Branson.
Well, there's a rumor they tried that in New Jersey. There's actually buildings up there that were built by Disney as a test.
And then there's the
Around Lake
Disney's
O'Para.
America thing in Virginia that didn't happen,
Actually,
and
COVID.
Mineral King in the Sierras. So anyway,
no, it's an interesting story. I feel bad for Gene in some ways, and at the other hand, I'm like, well, he still made the decisions, so he's still the one that is in the end responsible for his own decisions. It's a tough situation all over, and it would have been nice to have some other competition with Disney and Mid-America. But I will say this, Dollywood is fantastic competition, I think, with Disney, and so is Silver Dollar City, its sister theme park. If you've never been to Silver Dollar City, and I don't know how Dollywood is at Christmas, but if you've never been to Silver Dollar City at Christmas time, oh my gosh, Silver Dollar City at Christmas time literally beats anything any of the Disney parks would ever do. SeaWorld is the best Christmas park as far as I can tell.
They're good.
SeaWorld is amazing at Christmas. They actually have the story of the nativity.
It used to be better before they put that stand-up roller coaster, the Surfside one.
Oh yeah.
They used to have like a whole village.
Oh, the little walk. Oh yes,
that was amazing where they had it like a setup. So you had like a campfire, and they'd have the entertainers come sing to the kids, and it gave it a different feel.
I don't know what Tampa's Busch Gardens does, but we went to Williamsburg, not this last December, but the December before, for their Christmas stuff. It was incredible. I mean, they had the live nativity and gospel singers and stuff. Like that company does it right.
Yeah. Well, Williamsburg probably is better than the one at Tampa, from what I understand. But still, yeah, there's a lot of competition. Obviously, Christmas time is an amazing time to hit the parks for lights and shows and stuff like that. But yeah, I would have loved if this park could have gone through. The plans that I saw for it were awesome. It's just sad that I kind of knew from the beginning that this was a pipe dream, and unfortunately, it seems like it's turned into a nightmare for everybody involved. And I'm sad to see it go away, and I hope that something else just as good can be on the horizon. 40s Mandalorian says Silver Dollar City has the best Christmas lights since the Osborne family lights, which originally came from Arkansas, which is close to Silver Dollar City. So that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Knight Rider 73 says, gotta go. Nice meeting y'all. Thank you for dropping in, Knight Rider. Mouse Secrets I saw is here.
Hey, Knight Rider, before you go, I found an app, and I forget what it's called, or I'd tell you, but it turns your phone into Kit.
Oh, wow.
With an absolute replica of the control panel, and it talks in its voice, and it's kind of fun. So look around for that.
And now, Lou, you got to get going, right?
Yeah, I'm afraid I do. I have a couple of things to do around here, and then I got to crank up the energy machine again at the hour for tonight's Super Secret Probation Monday Night Pro Show. So I appreciate you having me. It's been a pleasure as always, and I wish you all a fabulous evening.
We'll see you, Lou.
Thank you so much for being here, Lou, and we will certainly talk to you soon.
right.
People can find you on X. They can find you on the Genre Guys.
You can't
not
find
on
me
X.
on X.
Not
I
on
don't
X.
do
You're
any
on
of
the-
those things anymore.
You're on the
I'm
Genre
seeing
Guys. Sorry,
Genre
on the-
Guys, certainly, and usually like tomorrow, the 3:00 that Park Place theme park show, and here and there and everywhere, wherever there is danger, you will find me with a plethora of strange things to say. So I'll say goodnight to everybody in the chat and everybody here, and I'll see you shortly over at the other place. Bye.
See you, Lou.
We'll see ya. And we still have Mouse Secrets. Let's see who else is. And then, of course, everybody's saying bye to Lou. Linda F says bye. And we still have Jess, and we still have Tom. And we still have stories to get to. What?
Jess, you're here.
Oh, Jess,
I am?
here.
I think I'm still here. Ron, are you here?
I'm still here. Hey, we are going to take a momentary break for everybody that's in the chat to get re-energized with a little bit of a longer celebration. So if you have your emojis ready, get them ready, get ready to go, put them out in the chat, because we are going to do our, because I like this, my wife likes it, she's watching the long celebration.
Too much? Too much? It's a perfect! Wahoo! Oh, give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, anticipation. It's making me mental. But if they say yes, you can be on the show. I think I would go so crazy.
Oh, that is fun. By the way, we are heading over to the WDW Pro show right after this. What I want to talk about next is something that is brand new for the Halloween season. So we're going to get this on the screen, and this is out of that Park Place Universal Haunt-O-Phonic, a Ghoulish Journey new Lagoon show coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2025. Their Lagoon shows are like a sensational, like the lights and the water screens and some fireworks and drones and stuff like that. It sounds like that's what this might be for Halloween. This is by Cham Lee. The Universal Orlando Resort has confirmed that Haunt-O-Phonic, a Ghoulish Journey, will be the new Lagoon show for Halloween Horror Nights 34, marking the first Lagoon show since the 2022 production of Ghoulish, a Halloween Tale. Universal describes Haunt-O-Phonic as a ghost story rising from its watery grave to haunt the Universal Studios Lagoon, featuring towering water screens and eerie music. The show uses coordinated water screens, lighting effects, synchronized fountains, and a haunting soundtrack to deliver ghostly storytelling at the lagoon. Show announcement. Hauntoponic, a ghoulish journey. A ghost story is rising from its watery grave to haunt the Universal Studios Lagoon, featuring towering water screens and eerie music. Tickets are now on sale at the link that's there in that Park Place article. It will run nightly during the event, which takes place August 29th through November 2nd, 2025. At Universal Studios Florida. The Lagoon Show pairs with the live production Nightmare Fuel Circus of Decay, a twisted circus experience featuring fire effects, aerial stunts, illusions, and choreography. Hauntoponic.
Fire effects.
Fire effects. Hauntoponic, a ghoulish journey. The production returns after a 2-year absence. There were no Lagoon shows in HHN in 2023 or 24 as Lagoon infrastructure was damaged by Hurricane Ian in 2022. Ghoulish, a Halloween Tale, ran in 2022 but did not return the next year. That looks like Harley Quinn.
Sort of, yes.
But it's Chance.
That actress is an absolute sweetheart in real life, by the way.
Aw, that's nice to know.
She's good people.
Universal highlights that Hauntoponic offers immersive storytelling and visual spectacle. It transforms the lagoon into a haunting stage of water screen projections and fountains, offering guests theatrical respite amid a lineup of scare zones and haunted mazes. Nighttime entertainment programming. Nightmare Fuel, a circus of decay, continues Universal's Nightmare Fuel tradition as a high-energy stage show. A cursed circus theme of flame displays, aerial artistry, and illusions create a sinister spectacle that enhances after-dark programming. Together, the Lagoon Show and Nightmare Fuel strengthen nighttime entertainment. They help distribute crowds throughout the park later in the evening while offering guest theatrical options between houses and scare zones. And this is where it becomes really, really important. Event flow and operational benefits. Reintroducing the Lagoon Show brings operational advantages. By drawing guests to the waterfront during peak times, it reduces the crowding in haunted houses queues. Fans and commentators have noted that including a Lagoon Show or an additional live show generally improves event flow. And I know, Tom, you go to Halloween Horror Nights. Have you seen that flow change from year to year as they've added or gotten rid of entertainment offerings?
A little bit, yeah, but it's hard to remember. Between that and going to the SeaWorld one, it blurs. So, yeah, it's too much overload sometimes, man.
I know that Jess is not a scare person, right?
I would go see this show, and that would be where you could find me for the entirety of the evening.
Well, Jess, you could hang out with my wife, and you could both get scared crapless.
Do they have like the Nobu necklaces like they have at some of these parks? Because I
have a funny story about that.
Oh no.
Our friend of ours had a Nobu necklace on, and she was not getting booed. She was wearing it. Then she decided to be mischievous. And there was this, we were over by, you know where the pretzel place is in SeaWorld?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's that little planter in front of it. Okay. And there was a guy there who was kind of doing, watching people, one of the cast members. And she decides to scare them with a Nobu necklace on.
Uh-oh.
So she goes up and she goes, boo, to him. And he goes, oh. And he gave her the riot act. Because he looks at her, you have a Nobu necklace on. You can't do that. We're not supposed to scare you. You shouldn't scare. And he went off. I'm like going, he's going to get us kicked out of the park. Oh my God. Oh my God. But no, she goes, I didn't know. She really didn't know. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, why the heck did you do that?
So wait, is the Nobu necklace like some type of thing to indicate to
it glows and it flashes. And the funny thing is, this one was a small spider, and she hates spiders.
Yeah.
So it was bad enough she was wearing that. So I had it flashing, and it was cutesy. It wasn't like it was an ugly spider. It was cutesy. Matter of fact, she gave me the damn thing. I have it someplace. And this guy was so ticked off because she had that on, and she scared him more than he scared him.
Goodness.
More than she scared him. So it was comical. I was like, wait.
His career may never recover.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta I was standing right there, all she said was boo.
Boo. Well,
Yeah,
you know, it's funny because I think of like when I was working as a scare actor, that's something I would have never seen just because of my boo hole that I was stuck in. I didn't see, I did not see the people that I was scaring prior to scaring
Well,
them.
and
I heard
they're
them.
not to be used in haunted houses because that all bets are off. If you're in there,
Okay.
like
If you go in a haunted house and you have it on, doesn't matter.
yeah, it's
No.
that's it's probably
This
going to
was
be a
for
target
scare
more than
zones
anything.
as you walk around.
Ah,
You know,
okay.
fear zones or whatever you want to call it.
Good for kids and people like me.
I see. So you're not going into a haunted house, though.
I've never been in one. I don't know
Okay,
how.
so
Oh,
let
you
me-
got to try it. It's fun.
Well, it's So the haunted houses like that, they have these different themes. I've worked in so many of them. I mean, I think that I started working in haunted houses like that when I was like maybe 16 or 18 or something. It was downtown St. Louis was the first one I worked in. Then I worked in the haunted houses at Six Flags, and I worked in the as a scare actor at Universal. So I've done my share of haunted house work, and it's to me they're not that scary in the sense that yes, they're going to be jump scares and things are going to come out, but they're more visually interesting as things to see inside there. The displays, they're always very interesting looking displays, and sometimes you get a little bit of a jump scare, but they're usually not horrifying. I have thought of, and mostly I thought of this after my I want to say, I think it was a short stint, maybe 3 months, maybe it was 6 months at the longest. It wasn't a very long stint. But I was a ghost and haunt tour guide in Branson, Missouri. And the reason it was a short stint is because the job is it's not a full-time job. It's, you only do it at night. So you start at like 9 o'clock in the evening and end at midnight, and you do it a couple nights a week. It's never, it wasn't a full-time gig, but it was an interesting gig because I had to learn true historical lore of the Branson area. Like I did not. What's that?
So that's like what they do with St. Aug. That's cool. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. So in Branson, what we did, I learned, I don't know how many different stories, actual historical events that happened. One was a train robbery. So we talked about it at the Branson train station. And the really cool thing about this is that operates today as Branson Scenic Railway. Or at least it did back then. I think it probably still does, but it was cool because you just paid money to go on, get on the train, go on a tour, learn about some history. It goes to a certain point and then comes back. That train does. You get the snacks and all that kind of stuff. But what was interesting is that train, obviously in the early 1900s, was operating as a method of transportation from one place to another. There was a train robbery that took place, and of course somebody got shot, and that I think the person that perpetrated, probably the police came anyway. Supposedly the station was haunted, and there were different stories that ensued. There are like everything that we told was true. Like we didn't make anything up. All of the stories that we had were from historical events that played out, and then the stories people had passed on about what they had seen afterwards. And it wasn't a huge walking tour. It was fun. We started at Branson Landing downtown, went up. I showed the Hilton, the Branson Scenic Railway, the Hilton Hotel. There's a building on the right. We walked around. It was really interesting. I learned that Bonnie and Clyde used Branson, Missouri as their hangout, and people in the town of Branson loved Bonnie and Clyde, and they used to like throw them like ticker tape parades as they would go through the streets, and Bonnie and Clyde would like ride into town, and they would have like all their loot, and they would throw candy out to the kids, and everybody loved them. And so they had a hideout house, and if the FBI, federal authorities, ever came to town, nobody told them where they lived. So it was,
you're an outlaw lover, aren't you there, Ron?
What's
now
that?
I know. You like outlaws. Now I know.
I love outlaws. Absolutely. But it was fun. We always the last spot of the tour, just before the very final spot, was on the lake, and then just before that we were in the Branson graveyard, the cemetery. And it was a cemetery with graves that date back to the Civil War.
Nice.
So we always
That's
talked
awesome.
about the different sightings and things that people saw, the Civil War soldiers, the ghosts and such. And then there was this house off to the side of the graveyard, and there was a family that lived in that house in the early part of the 20th, was the 1900s, early 1900s, or maybe it was late 1800s. And they lived at the side of the cemetery, and then they would go into the cemetery and perform certain rituals in the evenings. And we talked about that particular family and what kind of lore they brought to the area. And people took pictures, and it was always interesting because people might find certain entities or whatever that looked like they popped up in their photographs and stuff. I had a blast doing that job. Anyway, that job made me think the haunted houses as we see them, like the ones Tom and I have gone through and you're too scared to go through, they're kind of silly in comparison to what I'd like to. I always thought it'd be so fun to buy some old, decrepit, giant kind of mansion-esque house somewhere. The style that I see around here, the only place I've seen that kind of style of house is in North Claremont. There's
I know
probably,
what you're talking about.
yeah, so the old Victorian style,
Yeah.
2-3 story houses. But buy one that's old and decrepit and has a lore to it, and then have a dinner experience. It's not quite the same as a murder mystery, but we talk about the haunts, and then set up the whole house where there's like
Could do it like that.
Yeah.
Where you have somebody, you stage somebody who is a guest. You don't tell them it's a murder mystery. You say it's a haunting thing. You have the thing, and you have somebody fake die on the dinner table.
Oh god. Yeah.
See you flip out.
Well, the idea is that using hydraulics and different different settings throughout the house, it would be more creepy as a tour if people would get trapped in rooms and books would move, and by the end of it people believe that they literally had an experience in a haunted house and saw some stuff and whatever. I think it'd be really fun to kind of do something like that, and charge through the nose for a dinner that should be worth $13, and you charge like $150 per person.
Yeah. The funny thing, Jess, I've been more scared, and Ron, I've been more scared walking to certain places in New York City than I've been in these haunted houses.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Easily.
I have to tell you, Ron, I don't know if they're going to have it this year. There is an old, I don't know what the building was originally used for. It's been there for decades and decades out at Cedar Point. And it looks a lot like a Victorian mansion, and it's just kind of in the park. It looks very out of place.
Okay.
But the year that I worked there, so 2009, it's been a little while, they started doing something very similar to that, where it was a haunted house, but you could also pay an upcharge to go in and actually have dinner with the deceased family, as it were, that were the owners of that supposed mansion. In the house. It was very cool. They were dressed in like period costume, and you would have like your 4-course meal and everything as all of this haunted stuff was going on around you.
Yeah, now that would be interesting to bring back the family and say, well, you're actually going to have dinner with the deceased.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be a lot of fun to do. Something like that. If I ever had money and had the spare time to put something like that together, it would be a blast. Cool. It would be a lot of fun.
That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
was-
I'd work there with you. I'd be a good victim.
You would scare the hell out of people.
You think I could? I don't know. I don't think I could scare people. I think I'm very jolly.
He's a jolly pirate. Arg. There was a comment.
She hasn't seen the pirate party.
Oh, here it is. There was a comment. 40s Mandalorian says Trump should put all the money he is getting from the lawsuits of the media to building America's Heartland Park, and then Disney could be responsible for funding 2 of its competitors. So that would be kind of funny. But speaking of Orange Bad, there is a story that we actually have about him and our good friend Sydney Sweeney. Let me see if I can put this on the screen. Trump White House and Vice President Vance weigh in on the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle controversy, cancel culture, run amok. Now, this is a funny story because it's a blonde woman, younger, decent looking, in very, very dressed blue jeans, by the way. The ads that I've seen, she is overly dressed. She has a blue jean jacket, she has blue jeans, and she's fully dressed. She's very covered, and she just says, I'm Sydney Sweeney, I've got good jeans. And somehow, in today's weird, bizarro world where there's a really, really tiny amount of lunatics, but they're loud.
Very loud lunatics.
They had to voice their opinion on this, and their opinion was just radically ridiculous. Some of the things I've heard and the comparisons made were just ridiculous. Anyway, there's Sydney Sweeney.
The cancel culture isn't working because it's more popular now.
Right. And they obviously haven't realized that something changed and there was a little bit of a swing, and we don't do the whole woke thing anymore. Anyhow, so here's Sydney Sweeney. As you can see, she's very covered in the jean jacket and the jeans and everything.
She's showing off some assets.
But even that is barely even in that ad. So I mean, let me put it this way. You know that she's biologically a female. There you go. What started as a seemingly, yeah, God forbid we should have biological females acting like biological females. What started as a seemingly innocuous advertising campaign for American Eagle's jeans line has ballooned into a national debate touching on politics, culture, and cancel culture. Actress Sydney Sweeney, known for her roles in Euphoria and Anyone But You, became the face of the brand's latest push. But a clever wordplay in the ad sparked accusations of promoting prejudice and problematic issues. The controversy escalated dramatically when the White House, under President Trump, weighed in, defending the Sydney Sweeney ad and lambasting critics. Here's a comprehensive breakdown of the events, reactions, and the implications. So here's the ad that sparked it all. American Eagle Outfitters launched its Live Your Life campaign in late July 2025, featuring 26-year-old Sweeney in a series of photos and videos. The ads show her in baggy jeans and denim shirt, posing provocatively. I didn't even think it was that provocative, honestly. The male narrator intones, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans, a clear pun on great jeans, something people use to say when complimenting someone's beauty. The campaign emphasizes themes of American youth, freedom, and casual style, with Sweeney embodying a quintessential all-American look, blonde hair, and a fit physique. The brand aimed to appeal to Gen Z and millennial shoppers by leveraging Sweeney's rising star power and sex appeal. American Eagle described the collection as iconic denim styles designed for comfort and self-expression. However, the great jeans slogan quickly drew scrutiny online, where some interpreted it as a subtle endorsement of genetic superiority, particularly given Sweeney's appearance aligning with historical ideals of a certain type of beauty. The backlash. Criticism erupted primarily from, and here's where we get to the tiny little group of lunatics that are really loud. Criticism erupted primarily from progressive activists on social media platforms like X and Reddit. Shortly after the ad's debut, detractors argue that the pun on the material evoked eugenics, a pseudoscience advocating for selective. Anyway, goes on to talk about what people were attempting to associate the ad with, which none of that was true. Sweeney's portrayal as a white, thin, blonde woman was seen by some as reinforcing exclusionary beauty standards that prioritize, being Caucasian and being fit, if you will. On Reddit's pop culture chats, users debated the campaign's undertones, with one thread titled "Sydney Sweeney's new campaign draws fire for the undertones," garnering thousands of comments. Some pointed out the ad's use of American symbols like eagles and flags, suggesting it veered into nationalist territory. You mean patriotism? What? Remind me of the name of the brand again. Is it not American Eagle?
Last I checked.
Oh gosh. Others accused American Eagle of subtly dog whistling far-right audiences, which is, this is the problem. When you are the extreme far left and you're a tiny little minority of society, probably less than 1% of society really fits into that. And then you you cannot exist in your tiny little bubble of nasty lunaticness in your brain without name calling the normal part of society far right. No, they're not far right. Just normal, center, regular people, patriotic people. And you just it frustrates. This is the kind of thing that will frustrate me to no end. I don't often blow up on my show like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers or some of those guys. I can. I'm going to tell you. Normally, I hold it together. But stuff like this, if we get into the stuff like this, I will lose it. I got to be careful.
Ron,
Yeah.
Goose Fraba.
Goose Fraba. Yes. Not all critics were unified. Many dismissed the outrage as overreach because it is, but the narrative gained traction enough through viral posts. Media outlets like The Guardian questioned whether the brand was using whiteness to sell jeans, highlighting how the ads' aesthetics echoed historical marketing. They were talking about, I think, the Brooke Shields ads from earlier. Anyway, defense.
That?
Yeah. Supporters of the ad viewed the controversy as manufactured hysteria because it is. Many argued it was simply a fun pun tying into Sweeney's appeal as a relatable, beautiful young woman selling clothing. Even progressive late night hosts like Stephen Colbert mocked the overreaction, calling it absurd to read propaganda into a jeans commercial, which, hey, give him credit where credit is due. At least he's talking about that. Others noted that similar ads featuring diverse models haven't faced comparable scrutiny, questioning if the backlash was performative. American Eagle has not issued a formal response. Actually, I think they did since
they
then.
ended up doing it. Yep.
Yeah, and it was a good response. But sources indicate the controversy has driven a surge in website traffic sales. It's raised the stock a lot. But here's where we get to the interesting point of this particular article. The White House weighs in. The story took a political turn on July 29th when Trump White House Communications Director Stephen Chung posted on X through his official White House account, blasting critics for the Sweeney ad. And Stephen Chung says, cancel culture run amok. This warped, moronic, this is his words, not mine, I'm just reading, sense and dense liberal thinking is a big reason why Americans voted the way they did in 2024. They're tired of this junkety junk that's bleeded out there. I would probably have to agree with them. I mean, I think the vast majority of people are tired of this. See, this is the kind of headline right here that bothers the heck out of me because it's so untrue. So Sydney Sweeney's ad shows an unbridled cultural shift towards whiteness. That's not true.
She's a beautiful girl. She's a popular actress, and she happens to be white.
Like, if Beyonce did the same ad and Beyonce said, "I have great genes," and it would be the exact same response. You take and it probably couldn't be Beyonce because she's too famous. They had to get some, like, Sweeney's not super famous yet. She's not like to that cultural level. But it could have been anybody from any background.
It comes out to jealousy.
Yeah, but the problem is that
they didn't get picked, and that they can't put their blue hair, ugly crap on front of everybody and go, "Hey, I'm an out of shape person, and I'm going to try to be a sex symbol." The whole word sex symbol.
Beauty standards exist.
Be in a good looking shape.
Yeah, the thing about beauty standards exist. There's a reason why. It has to do with procreation and everything else. It's very scientific. Beauty is not actually in the eye of the beholder, as a lot of people said. It is when you go out of your way to make the decision, which you can. But as far as actual beauty standards, they exist for scientific reasons. So there's certain things that people see, and it's our whatever that part of the brain is.
Ron, we should just go get and try to get on GQ.
That's funny.
And we can just call Dad Bod Special.
Well, I'd love to get back to where I once was. That is what I'm trying to do. But if I do get back to where I once was, it's going to take me a while. And then I could have been on GQ or even Abercrombie and Fitch. But
Oh, don't go there. I won't do that. No.
That's where you draw your line.
I don't think I could be on Abercrombie and Fitch just because I'm straight. But
I could be on Grumpy Old Men Yells at the Sky.
There you go. Sydney Sweeney has great genes, and there it is. It says this warped, moronic, and dense liberal thinking is a big reason why Americans voted the way they did in 2024. He said they're tired of the BS. Chung framed the outrage as cancel culture run amok, linking it to broader frustrations that propelled Trump to victory in the 2024 election. The following day, Vice President J.D. Vance doubled down during a press briefing, trolling Democrats. We're going to attack people as I don't know what that word's supposed to be for thinking Sydney Sweeney is beautiful. Great strategy, guys. Vance suggested the backlash revealed Democrats' failure to learn from their electoral defeat, predicting it would alienate young voters, especially men. Liberal-leaning outlets like Mashable and the New York Times portrayed the Trump administration's involvement in the Sydney Sweeney controversy as opportunistic, stroking culture wars for political gain, while supporters praised the president's team for speaking out on a controversial issue on the side of sanity. Look, there it is. Sydney Sweeney has great genes. I don't know if maybe Tom might have said, well, did either one of you see what I posted on X earlier about my response? I don't know if I can bring it up.
I think I might, Ron. Yeah.
What it was the Bud
dinner? I don't know.
It was the Budweiser thing. Oh
yeah. Did you see? Speaking of this, did you see what that cosmetic store is using for spokesperson?
Ulta. I'm done shopping there now. Not that my
freaking
money matters that much, but
I have missed it. Whatever that is, let me find it later.
Look it up later. Don't look it up now because I'm pretty sure you'll get sick and go to the bathroom.
I don't want to do that. No, we've got to bring this discussion to an end. Oh, Makeup Mom and Son is here. I just saw you in the chat. Where are you? Let's see if I can bring it up. Makeup Mom and Son, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. We are going to be going over to the WDW Pro Show right after this. So just want to let everybody know we're going to stream into there. But yeah, my thought on this is very, very simple. The nation is healing. We're getting rid of this. The woke junk is out of here. Normal people are back in. And hopefully that means we'll see. I will say this. I have one tremendously huge criticism as an adult about The Bad Guys 2. And it's a really, really, some people will think it's an odd criticism. It's an animated movie for kids. I don't see any reason why one of the female leads has to have an eyebrow ring. Why was that necessary?
Is she very she punk?
No, there's really no. There's no other indication. They're all animals, right? They're all. It's like Zootopia. They're animal characters. So it's really, really weird. Why would the animators choose to put that in the character design when it doesn't really fit even the character itself? It was an odd choice, and it bothered me the entire time.
What was the animal? What is the animal?
I can't remember. That's how much it bothered me, is that I can't remember the character or her name or anything else, because the only thing that was drawing my focus is there's something in your eye. It's like to me, if I see a nose ring, I'm thinking the whole time, you got a booger. Get rid of it. I can't help myself but think it looks like a boogie.
I kicked mine out to be on your show, Ron.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you taking your nose ring out to be on my show. You're a pirate. You could actually have a nose ring. You can get away with it.
Hey, you keep saying that, and this poor lady has no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Well, I don't have them loaded up, but I have the clips, so I'll have to load them up and put them in here. Guys, we are bringing the show to an end. Thank you so much for being here today. Tom, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Find me on my channel, TJ Magnafia on YouTube, swinging a wrench around on your channel, Pro's channel, Lorena's channel. I show up there time to time, talking, driving people crazy. I had a good old Barry Plays 28 to his channel. And I should be doing some more live streams soon on my own. I'm trying to figure that out. Car shows, rocket launches, and some other stuff with good old Strings and Putt, which Ron is stuttering guitarist, by the way. I didn't know if you knew that.
I got it. I figured out.
we're going to probably work on something to do that. And for what Pro was telling me, I'm supposed to be doing a guitar thing with Jeremy on Lauren Apollo's show. We haven't figured out when yet.
It's late night with Lauren and Apollo. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. And Jess Hart's Theme Parks. Jess Hart's Theme Parks. Tell the folks where we can find you.
Yeah, please go and check out my YouTube channel. It's Just Hearts Theme Parks. I'm also under that same username on X, on Instagram. I'm trying out the TikTok thing. I might be too old for that. I'm not sure. And also I have a group over on Facebook. So please feel free to say hi. I'd love to hear from you guys. And thank you again to Ron for always having me out here.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. And please do, in fact, go subscribe to Jess Hart's Theme Park. She's got a lot of great things on her channel, and she needs the subs and deserves the subs. I see her as a great YouTuber coming up in the future. So, be in on the ground floor because it's worth it, and you will not regret subscribing to and watching the stuff that's on her channel. It's a blast. All we do is we have a lot of fun. We love theme parks. We love travel. We are not here to be overly critical or nitpicky, but we are here to be honest about the theme parks, the things we love, the things we'd like to see changed, and where there is room for improvement. Well, okay, Tom likes to be picky, but that's with the guitar. That's just how you play it, don't fret. You see what I did there?
Got the puns, man. That's fantastic.
Oh, we got the puns. Anyway, with that, again, thank you so much, Strings and Pucks. We appreciate you. We'll give you one last let's do a culture celebration. And with that, we wish everybody a good night. We are out of here. Thank you so much. And until next time, which I believe will be Wednesday night at 8 p.m., we will see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao.
Dishes are done, man. Cleans them down to the shop.